Hey everyone, Zia here and welcome back to the channel. I have some absolutely insane and important updates for you today, okay? Let's jump right into it. Okay, Zo News fam, brace yourselves. A bombshell just dropped that could send shockwaves through the global tech industry. A visa fee jumping from practically nothing to $100,000. Is this the end of an era for IT talent? You heard that right, Zo News fam. The White House just announced a revised H-1B visa fee, not $1,000, not $5,000, but a whopping $100,000 for new applications. That's a massive leap from the previous annual fee of around $1,000. Look at this on-screen text. But here's the shocking twist. While that sounds catastrophic, market analysts are saying the direct financial hit to Indian IT firms might actually be limited. Why? Because this massive fee is only for new applications, and H-1B holders make up less than 1% of their global workforce. See the numbers right here. And the implications are just mind-blowing. Indian IT companies are already recalibrating, shifting their strategies. They're expanding local hiring in the US, diverting more work to offshore centers in India, and becoming more agile. So while it's a protectionist stance, they're adapting fast. As the text shows, it's a strategic pivot. So, Zo News fam, this isn't just about a fee. It's about a massive shift in global talent strategy. Will this protectionist move redefine the future of IT outsourcing, or will Indian firms simply become even more resilient and innovative? What's your take on this seismic shift? In other news, a surprising development has just come to our attention. Okay, Zo News fam, you are not going to believe what just happened. A peaceful movement for Ladakh statehood just erupted into chaos, forcing its leader to call everything off. What triggered this sudden explosion of anger? Activist Sonam Wangchuk had been on a 15-day hunger strike, demanding statehood for Ladakh. And then, after two protesters were hospitalized on day 35 of the larger movement, the situation escalated. Look at the news update. It clearly states, 15-day hunger strike concludes amidst unrest. But here's the wild part. The unrest turned violent. Two protesters were hospitalized, igniting a fury that led to a massive shutdown. Wangchuk himself called it a Gen Z revolution driven by 5 years of unemployment. Just look at the overlay. Youth unemployment fuels Gen Z revolution. Wangchuk immediately appealed for peace, urging the youth to stop the violence. He stated that ignoring peaceful protests leads to such situations, pushing for dialogue. And the proof is in the details. See this text. Activist calls for peace amidst escalation. Ladakh, once part of Jammu and Kashmir, was reorganized as a union territory in 2019. Now, with the protest called off, the call for dialogue is louder than ever. So what's the real story here? Can dialogue bridge the divide and bring lasting peace to Ladakh? All right, moving on to our next story. Global markets were bracing for a crash, with headwinds hitting hard. But get this, squad, one economy just laughed in the face of chaos. How did India's Nifty 50 pull off a near 7% jump when everyone expected a meltdown? Look at this data, squad. We are talking about a significant 6.5% gain for the Nifty 50 in the first half of FY26. That is right, 38 stocks in the green, with some like eternal soaring over 67%. But here's the wild part. While foreign institutional investors offloaded nearly 90,000 crore rupees, our domestic institutions stepped in with 3.5 lakh crore in purchases. This was not just resilience, this was a strategic counterattack. The text on your screen says it all. DIIs, the market saviors. And the proof is right here. Favorable monsoons, government tax relief, GST rate cuts, it all fueled domestic demand. RBI rate cuts too. The overlay shows exactly what drove the surge. Policy win, tax cuts, GST, RBI, EASING. It is a perfect storm of positive factors. So, can the Nifty 50 hit a record high of 26,500 to 27,000 by 2025 end? That is what ICICI Securities believes. But currency, weakness, and RBI rate cuts could weigh on banks. And the experts are completely split. What do you think, squad? Is India headed for an unprecedented bull run, or are there hidden dangers lurking? Okay, from the world of politics, to the world of entertainment. Okay, fellow truth seekers, get ready. Remember that morning when the markets went absolutely wild, and one report sent shockwaves through the entire Indian business landscape? We're diving deep into an insane story that just took a mind-blowing turn. In January 2023, a US-based short seller dropped a report accusing the Adani group of stock manipulation and irregularities. Just look at this screen, fellow truth seekers. Hindenburg report, allegations explode. The fallout was immediate. Billions wiped out, market panic everywhere. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, launched a massive investigation covering nearly a decade, looking into everything from stock manipulation to insider trading. And here's the wild part. They spent years sifting through the evidence, as you can see. SEBI probe, years of scrutiny. Now, the bombshell. SEBI's final assessment found no evidence of fraudulent transactions, no misappropriated funds, and importantly, no violations of listing agreements. The verdict is clear. SEBI verdict. No fraudulent deals. And we have the receipts. Gautam Adani himself says this report wasn't just about his group, but a direct challenge to the audacity of Indian enterprises overall. He's even demanding a national apology. So, fellow truth seekers, what's your take? Is this a complete vindication, or is there more to this story? And now for something on a lighter note. Crew, buckle up. You will not believe the legal earthquake that just hit Elon Musk's Corp in India. Is this the end of free speech as we know it, or a crucial win for online safety? It all started when Corp challenged the Indian government's power to issue content blocking orders under the IT Act. They went to the Karnataka High Court, saying no way, but the court, they just dropped a bombshell, saying the petition lacks merit. Look at this official document right here confirming the dismissal. The court is loud and clear, as you can see. Corp challenges Govt. Blocking power was their stance, but it just got shut down. And here's where it gets wild. The court stated social media needs regulation, especially in cases against women. They were not holding back, crew. But hold on, because it gets crazier. Because they said, as you can read, court, no anarchic freedom online. They called out the idea of anarchic freedom online, saying it becomes a license for lawlessness. Wow. And we have the receipts. Because the court pointed out that Corp actually follows takedown orders in the United States, its own birthplace. But the same petitioner, as the text on screen highlights, Corp obeys US law, resists India, refuses to follow similar orders here in India. That's a serious double standard, isn't it? So what does this mean for the future of social media platforms and the battle between regulation and online liberty in India? Are we seeing a new era of digital accountability or a dangerous precedent for censorship? What's your take on this, crew? And just when you thought the day couldn't get any stranger. News fam, you are not going to believe what just happened. A massive tech giant challenged government authority, and they just lost big time. Who really gets to control what we see online? That's the puzzle we need to solve together. Okay, News fam, the Karnataka High Court just made a monumental ruling, rejecting a petition from Corp Justice M. Nagaprasanna explicitly stated. And look what it says right here. Court, social media regulation a must. The court underlined that social media absolutely needs regulation, especially when it involves serious matters like offenses against women, to protect fundamental dignity. But here's the wild part, News fam. The judge pointed out that Corp readily complies with content takedown orders in the United States, where violations carry criminal penalties. But look at this split screen. When it comes to India, the same company shows a puzzling reluctance. The court said this double standard, or as it's highlighted here, Corp's double standard, simply cannot be countenanced on Indian shores. And the implications are just mind-blowing. With this petition dismissed, the government's power to direct social media companies to block or remove unlawful content stands massively reinforced. As this overlay confirms, GOVT, power reinforced, IT-ACT Section 79(3)(b) of the IT Act is now stronger than ever. This means a clearer path for safeguarding our digital spaces. So, News fam, this ruling is a massive win for government oversight, strengthening the fight against unlawful content online. But it also sparks a huge debate. Where do we draw the line between necessary regulation and protecting our digital freedom? What do you think about this decision? Now, for a look at what's happening in the world of finance. Okay, Zo News fam, picture this. Ladakh, a region known for its serene beauty, suddenly explodes in chaos. Buildings ablaze, vehicles burning. This isn't just a protest, this is an inferno. But who lit the match? The BJP immediately pointed fingers, accusing Congress Councillor Funsog Stanzen Sepeg. They claimed he was directly instigating the mob, saying, "Is this the kind of unrest Rahul Gandhi has been fantasizing about?" Look at the text on screen. BJP points fingers. Councillor accused. But here's the shocking twist. Activist Sonam Wangchuk, a voice of reason in Ladakh, denied these claims outright. He stated Congress doesn't have such influence here. He says on the overlay, Wangchuk's counter, no Congress influence. And this is where it gets interesting. The protests actually erupted over long-standing demands for statehood and inclusion under the Constitution's 6th schedule. 2 activists on a 35-day hunger strike were even hospitalized, fueling the anger. As the text shows, 6th schedule demands fuel fury. Wangchuk, after calling off his own hunger strike, expressed deep sorrow over the violence, calling it a Gen Z revolution driven by youth's anger. Talks are set for October 6th. Can peace truly prevail, or is this just the beginning of a bigger fight for Ladakh's future? Keeping with our theme of incredible discoveries, this next one is mind-blowing. 4 dead, 30 injured. Is this the terrifying cost of demanding change in Ladakh? What truly ignited this volatile powder keg? Okay, you are not going to believe what we uncovered. The lay apex body called for a shutdown after hunger strikers were hospitalized, escalating demands for statehood and 6th schedule expansion. And look at this on screen, the call was clear. Ladakh, statehood now. And this is where it gets crazy. Protesters reportedly set a security vehicle ablaze outside the BJP office, and then the police fired. Authorities quickly imposed prohibitory orders, fearing more violence. You can see right here the stark reality. Violence erupts, vehicles torched. In the midst of this chaos, activist Sonam Wangchuk ended his hunger strike. He appealed to the youth to stop the violence, saying it harms their cause. But here's the wild part. He admitted on screen his peaceful path failed. It's a stark admission. With Section 163 prohibitory orders now in effect, the region is bracing for what comes next. What's your take on this? Is this a temporary calm, or the quiet before another storm? Alright, that's all for today. Don't forget to hit that button. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Zo News.